Indian Point just lost a court battle, not as it relates to relicensing, but it had to, and it has to do obviously with the future of the plant. This time it lost it to the state of New York. A judge just upheld a lower court decision that allowed the state, to expand an environmentally protected area around the plant. Now, more than 20 million people live within a 50-mile radius of the Buchanan facility, and many state officials, including the governor, would like to see it shut down. But only the feds, got to go to King of Prussia, Pennsylvania here, where the NRC is based here, only the feds can actually shutter its doors. Can the state nickel and dime it to death? Phil, is there a way with the water and environmental issues that they can make it either so difficult to make the margins that Entergy sees to make it viable that they just said it's not worth it doing business in New York, or is this just a headache and nothing more for the plant?
I suppose they could. I will have to just say as a preface to this, though, that this has been a bad year for Entergy and Indian Point with the transformer fires that shut down those reactors. And there's a lot of pressure now on the environment as it relates to the Hudson River. We're seeing all kinds of things. The pressure on General Electric to do better cleanup of the PCBs upriver. This latest report from the Hudson River Keeper about the sturgeon dying in in the Tappan Zee Bridge, but and now this protection, environmental protection area, also having to do with endangered species like sturgeon. The thing about this is, you always got to come back to the fact that the federal government, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, makes the final decision about renewing a license. They have been pro-nuclear since when? 1950, whatever. And it would be highly unusual, even if this pressure came on Entergy, knowing that they're probably going to get the relicensing as it is. And the other thing is that even though Cuomo and others might be using this court decision and other things to nickel and dime, as you say, and make it hard for Entergy, they haven't come up with an alternative plan to a nuclear power plant that generates what, 30-something percent?
25.
30-something percent of the entire state. And I think it supplies 25% right at Westchester, New York.
And their argument is it's clean energy too, which is what everybody argues about.
And it's
safety and security, though, is a debate about it.
Ironically, it's cleaner, right?
I want to ask this next one, which is a journalistic question.
You're asking us?
Yeah, I'll take a leap here. The Giants, New York's football Giants, they have not cut ties here with Jason PierrePaul, their all-star defensive lineman, even though the defensive end got his finger amputated, his index finger, after a fireworks injury. Now, why you'd say a guy who was slated to make $14 million and had a $60 million contract on the table is playing with fireworks, that's a debate for another day. PierrePaul had the surgery, and he didn't tell the team. Now, a reporter at ESPN, Adam Schefter, who is known for scoops, he broke the story, but here's where the question comes in. He tweeted out Paul's medical records, and it's unclear whether that's legal, but certainly the question is it ethical? We know you can do it, but the question is, Dominic, just like if there's a rape victim, we don't publicize, put the picture of the person out there. If there's a minor accused of a crime, we don't put the name or the picture of the kid. Should you be putting some of these medical records out there?
This is a tough one. In the day of competition, now remember, if you don't do it, Fox Sports, if they get it, they may. And there goes your scoop. And remember, the more scoops you have as a journalist, let's be honest, we're all seeking that $1 million payday as a journalist.
Sure, but you know the old argument, just because somebody else doesn't do it doesn't mean you got to jump up the branch and 2 wrongs don't make a right.
But that might have been the argument in 1985. This is 2015. If ESPN approved of this, and apparently they did, because
you think it had to go to some kind of...
If my boss approves of it, I'm going with it.
How about you, Phil?
Well, I mean, first of all, they are investigating this because whoever leaked that,
the HIPAA laws.
Yeah, that law from 1996, they're going to try to find out who leaked it to the guy. I think part of this is Jay PierrePaul, and I'm not saying this outweighs the ethics of this, but let's be real. This guy is not a sympathetic figure.
And he wants out of his contract.
He wants out of his contract.
He's been hit with the franchise
paid a lot
tag.
of money.
Right.
He did something very irresponsible, which was blowing up fireworks in his hand, which is the height of stupidity. And as a matter of fact, this is actually a cautionary tale to anybody who wants to fool around with this stuff.
Right, but whether he's an idiot or not, it's his medical records.
True. don't forget the Pentagon Papers. The same kind of.
But that had to do with national security or certainly a trust in government. This has to do with a football player's personal.
I think Phil's onto it because it's the context where it matters. He's trying to hide something that that the fans and the team probably have a right to know or should know.
No, wait.
And he's not a victim to your rape
Do you
analysis
think?
or your
I'm
rape
sorry.
analogy.
Do you think that we have a mandatory right to know just because I'm a fan of the Giants?
Absolutely not.
No,
We don't. I don't have a right to know.
No, we don't have a right to know, but somebody thought that it was a good idea to leak it, and therefore somebody had to make a news decision. I would have gone with the news. I would have gone.
So
with
we
it.
agree.
Yes,
So we
I agree
agree.
with you. Yeah.
How about you?
I would have leaked it also. I mean,
You would have reported it.
yes, I would have reported it that it had been leaked to me.
Right.
And taken it from there. I'm sure he did go to ESPN and see if it was okay with them. The question is, if ESPN had said no, if you take it to the bosses and the bosses say no, do you still leak it? Do you still report it? I probably would have. I probably would have. I think it's something that people want to know, and you could make an argument have a right to know.
There's all kinds of things. It's just because the public wants it doesn't mean they
and he's not a
should.
victim. He's not a victim in this. It's self-inflicted. He did it to himself. If he was the victim of a crime, then I would say probably not. But it's the context that matters.
And it didn't help that he figuratively gave the middle finger to the Giants when they came down there to find out what the condition was. That and he said they wouldn't let him in.
Again, if I was his boss, I would say no here, but I'm in the minority. I don't know if I'm in the minority in this next one. Actress Patti LuPone probably lost a fan. Now, if you know the Broadway actress, she made headlines for an interesting reason recently. She grabbed a woman's phone right out of her hand because she was texting, not talking, but texting during a Broadway show. LuPone says the woman was distracting the cast and the audience. She gave the phone to a stage manager, and the woman got it back after the show. So, is LuPone in the right, or is this flippin' diva on steroids here in terms of who appointed her queen, where she decided? And I read more of the context of the interview, and she said,
got it right.
time out. She said, wait a minute, let's all agree that the woman texting in the thing's an idiot. But my point is, this is America. She did pay $150. She wasn't talking on the phone. And moreover, LuPone says she wasn't giving me her undivided attention. Who the hell is she?
Allow me if I may. Yeah, she forked over $150 to sit in the theater. But so did everybody else who's sitting in the audience.
now
who's
you're
being
assuming
distracted.
everyone's distracted.
But if you're not distracted, of course people were distracted. You're paying $150 to sit in a Broadway theater. She's in the second or third row.
To the
It lights up.
side.
So what? It lights up. It's distracting.
Okay, all right, Andrew.
It's absolutely
Time out.
distracting.
You go to a golf match, okay?
I don't,
Time
but
out, but
okay.
you do. You pay a ticket. You're behind the ropes. You're with a friend who cares. You don't really care too much. Phil Mickelson's taking a shot in the fairway, and you're texting. Mickelson says you didn't give him the proper attention and you were distracted, yanks the phone out of your hand, puts it in his pocket, and they'll decide to give it to you after the round. Do you believe or...
Was I distracting Phil Mickelson from taking
He says
this
you
swing?
were.
No.
Apparently, according to Patti LuPone, she said she was.
No, it's
No,
a
would you think that's acceptable?
It's a totally different
No, it's
example.
not.
Yes,
You're
it
a
is.
Broadway
It is.
fan.
It totally
But
is.
Richard, you're a patron. You're a patron of the arts. What's the first thing?
Barely, go ahead,
Well, okay,
yeah.
but
Yeah, go
more
ahead,
than
I'll play
most.
along, yeah.
When you go to Broadway, what's the first thing you see in the lobby when you walk in?
No texting, no
No
using the
texting,
phone.
no use of phones.
Okay.
You know why?
They say no
I'm
texting?
I'm
Did they
not.
actually
No, I
well,
didn't
well,
see texting. I
it
said
says no
turn-
use-
just
it says
don't use your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So they don't want to hear
Okay,
that. Right.
you can call her a diva, but it is an art to remembering all of those lines, to remembering all the blocking, her movement on every given word of the show.
She said she wasn't paying complete
no,
attention to the performance. No, don't tell me no. She said it.
But you can easily break an actor or actress's concentration on Broadway. So if you're arrogant enough to walk in there when the sign tells you don't be in there with the phone,
Let me interject something
ahead.
at this juncture, as Woody Allen used to say.
go ahead.
But first, I got to
another problem.
take a text. Okay, that's all right. All right. Here's the thing: I haven't heard from the woman who had the phone taken away from her.
She doesn't have her phone, so it's hard to.
Well, isn't it possible? But I'm just saying, isn't it possible that she had a message from the babysitter saying the kid?
But that's my point.
Scalded.
Who the heck is this woman to decide that she's going to take my personal property?
Phil, Rich, if you get that message, easy. Get up out of your chair,
Andrew, though-
go to the lobby, answer the text
Andrew-
there, step outside and
Andrew,
make a phone call.
Due respect, You're a big Broadway fan.
I'm a
You
huge
cut
Broadway
so
fan.
much slack. What?
I'm a huge Broadway
You are.
fan.
You cut so much slack to this person because you appreciate Broadway. You wouldn't do it to another venue. Time out that if an athletic performer in the middle of the game said someone was distracting to them, like golfers do all the time, and they took your personal property, you would do a complete 180 and say, who is that person to take my property? Who appointed them king? You're not consistent at all.
This golf example that you're hung up on is out in the daylight as opposed to in a darkened theater where the glow is actually distractive for people. As for the other sports that you're talking about, that's when people are yelling at the players at the same
In
time.
golf? How
No,
many
no, no,
golf
not,
matches you
not
go to?
golf, not golf, but other sports because you lumped it all together.
No, I said golfer,
everybody's
actually.
cheering at the same time. So, pardon me. And right after the golfer swings,
suck it
everybody's
up
making
and do
noise
the
too.
performance. I don't
would you
want
have
her
a problem with
texting, but-
would you have a problem if the usher took her phone away?
No, I'd have less of a problem with that.
What's
Who
the
appointed
difference?
her?
What's the difference?
Andrew, here's another thing. Why can't people just put these damn things
Yeah,
away?
Well, that's really the big
I mean, it's
boy
really
point right
childish.
there.
I mean,
Of
it's like
course
they
it
take
is.
them out of
She's an
kid-
idiot. But
they take
my
them-
point is, she's trying to make a spectacle of it, and she's taking away someone's personal property. Who appointed her? I would hope no one brings a
But
phone
Richard,
and turns it on.
Richard, what happens if she forgets her line and messes up the monologue?
She's a professional. She should be able to do
she's
it.
a professional,
Yeah.
so she should automatically be able to remember her
Let's be
lines
clear.
at all
Let's be
times.
clear.
And her blocking
Time
to
out.
move around the stage.
She obviously knew enough that she chose, because she saw this happen in the first act or whatever,
Right.
she chose to make a point of it in the second act because she said the woman wasn't giving full attention to the performance. Oh, God. I mean, are you kidding me? Get over yourself.
So she's supposed to wait until she's off stage.
She's
go
supposed
find a
to
stage
perform.
Hang on, so go find a stage manager, have the stage manager
Yeah.
tell the usher to go. Please.
No.
That's
I don't
not-
want this woman going around taking my. If she took your phone, would you be like, "Oh, sorry, Patty"? You probably
and
would. But me, I'd be like,
And
"Give
here's
my
the,
damn
and here's,
phone
the,
back."
here's the best part of what Patti LuPone did. Now we're having conversations like this, and maybe some knuckleheads will remember to turn their phones off
the right
or
thing.
turn the thing
did
off
the right
before they go into the
thing.
theater next time.
Hey, you know, it wouldn't be funny if she texted this place sucks.
What would you do if she took the phone out of your hand? She went to go grab the phone. Out of
It
your
would have been a fight. Man.
Exactly.
It would have been a fight. It would have been great.
Please.
She
You would have laid down. You would have laid down so
hand?
fast.
Absolutely not.
So you think she was wrong?
I think the idiot who was texting in the theater was wrong. I don't think it's her place to try and make a spectacle out of it. And of course, she's a diva. She's had problem with the phones before. Now she says she may not even go perform anymore because there's such a problem.
Richard,
with her.
but
Please.
why does she have to be a diva? Why can't it be that she respects her craft and that she has to concentrate?
Did you listen to what I said? Her point was why she took it away.
You're
It wasn't
focusing,
that she was
on
distracted.
one part. You're focusing on that
That's
part.
the issue. She didn't like that anyone wasn't paying attention to her.
I
And
don't
if
think
anybody
so.
did this in
I
another
don't
walk
think
of
so.
life,
I don't
they'd
think
be a
so.
huge
You know what?
issue.
If
I don't think so.
when
How
I'm
about a comedian?
When I'm in a
Do you
theater,
think a comedian, by the way, who's supposed to have attention, that they're going to go run and grab somebody's phone in the theater? They take heckling back and forth.
Comedians have been known to curse people out.
Of course they will. They go on with the show. Call her out if you want.
Louis C.K. makes a point of working it into the routine because it's distractive to him. And he says at the beginning of the routine, he makes a joke about it, and it's funny, but he makes it.
He's
because
not
it's-
going in the
because it's
stand
distractive
taking
to him.
out your phone.
He might if somebody actually did
Call
it.
her out on
and
it if you
every
want.
time I'm in the theater and somebody uses the phone, you want the person run out on a rail. You absolutely do.
Okay, she wasn't talking on the phone wasn't ringing.
You know how difficult it is to make everything in a show work together like
Some
dominoes?
of the rings are audio when you get a text. Some of them,
And sometimes it has a sound when
Right.
you text.
Oh,
it.
would you
right.
shut up?
You're
the two
wrong
of
on
you.
this,
You're
Rich, you're
completely
wrong.
wrong.
Why are you
You've got a picture of LuPone in your room.
I do, as a
All
matter of fact. but-
We want to get you involved in our conversation. Go to Facebook and Twitter and sound off here. Was Andrew's Queen for a Day, Patti LuPone here right to not only chastise but take the phone away from an audience member, or was she out of line? Tell us what you have to say. All right, coming up next, this is a segue. Greece and China struggling, but here's a huge debt crisis much closer to home. Puerto Rico on the brink of financial collapse. Is the Greece of the Caribbean? What is in store for them? We're going to talk to the Emmy Award-winning filmmaker who directed a new documentary about the troubled island.